going to be here today, right? Everyone's really looking forward to seeing you here since it's been such a long time now. They all want to see what kind of horrible wife you've become after spending all that time avoiding everyone here.
Why would you say something like that? Have I done anything wrong?
I'm just speaking the truth is all. We all know that you don't care at all about your in-laws and that you'd rather be off on your own, only taking care of yourself, right? But thankfully, I am a very kind and thoughtful mother-in-law, which means that I'm going to forgive you for all of that. And to make sure you understand just how kind of a woman I am, I made sure that today everyone would be eating high-end filet mignon. And that's why all of my family is really looking forward to this gathering and to seeing you here. Since you're Brandon's wife, you're going to be filling your stomach up on all kinds of high-end salts, all right?
What do you mean by that?
Well, you never seem to be able to take a hint. You're nothing like the rest of my family, all right? It would be a waste of money letting you eat some of the finest meats that I can buy. So the only thing a stranger like you will be eating today is the steak salts that everyone else could care less about.
Really? Did you just call me a stranger?
Yes, I did. A terrible wife like yourself means nothing to my family, and that's why we can't even think of you as part of us. Ugh, why did my son ever end up marrying a woman like you in the first place? Besides, the fact that his wife is completely useless, he's a perfect man.
Is that right? Then forget about your allowance.
What?
If you're going to say that I'm not your family or anything anymore, then there's no reason for me to really be sending you any more money.
Huh? What are you talking about? To me, you're nothing more than a stranger, but to you, your in-laws should all still be considered your family. That's just common sense, right? So you have the responsibility as my son's wife to keep that money coming to us.
I completely understand your way of thinking, Patty, so please allow me to go and have a word with Adam about this.
Sure, go ahead. But that's not going to change anything for you. That boy will understand my way of thinking completely and won't let you get away with such a lawless action. Anyway, you'd better be at this family gathering today, May.
Adam, where are you right now?
I just finished up getting some things from the grocery store, and I'll be on my way home. What's going on?
I was just texting with your mom a second ago.
My mom, huh? I'm sure this isn't going to be good then, right?
Well, she started off by asking me if I'd be making it to the family gathering today. But then soon after that, she made it very clear to me that I'm not considered family to her.
Huh? She went that far with you now?
Yeah. She told me that to make her family all happy, she went and bought a bunch of really expensive filet mignon. But since she doesn't see me as a part of the family, the only thing I'll be allowed to eat is the steak salt.
Do you want to just stay home from that stupid event?
Honestly, I really don't want to go to that stupid event. But if I don't show up this time, then things will only become worse the next time around, right? I was being honest this whole time about having to work all the time and never being able to attend those gatherings. So this time I should actually go. I think the reason she said something like that to me, about me not being a family to her, is because I haven't been going out to see anyone recently. Maybe it was just meant as a joke or something.
Well, if that was meant to be a joke from her, it was not a very funny one. But if you're saying that you'd like to go this time, then I guess we're going. I myself haven't really been going home to my parents all that much recently. I'd like to go see them and check on how things are going there.
Check on how things are going? Just in general?
You know better than I do that there are plenty of things wrong with my mom, right? I want to go and check to see if she's been telling the truth at all to the rest of the family, or if she's still hiding all her problems. In the past, lots of people have been hurt by what she was doing, so I just have to make sure things aren't getting bad again.
Is that right?
Well, I guess today we're really heading over to my parents' house then. But if there's anything that makes you want to go home while we're there, let me know right away. Then we can get the heck out of there.
Mary, you really have no guts, do you? Getting picked on by your mother-in-law is something you need to deal with as my son's wife. What were you thinking showing up here today only to turn right back around and leave like that? Are you trying to make me look bad in front of the rest of my family?
I never thought that you'd actually have a plate ready for me at the dinner table filled with nothing but garlic salt. Everyone else had a nice steak and vegetables on their plates, yet I had nothing more than salt and a shot glass filled with water. What you've done hasn't only pissed me off, but it's upset your own son now as well.
And when Adam starts to get upset like that, your job as his wife is to make him settle down, right? You really are so useless, always blaming others for your own faults.
Could you tell me why you always have to treat me like this, Patty?
Well, there's not any kind of deep meaning to it, actually. I just happen to not really like you at all. I had made such a fine young man, and you came out of nowhere and completely ruined him. I don't want some thief like you becoming a part of my family, so why should I have to cater to you when it's so much easier just to treat you like said thief? Also, the reason my son never comes around his own parents anymore is because of you, right? Who is the real menace to this family, I wonder?
I do apologize for all the times I've not been able to come out to see you all, but all of those times I had really been busy with work and could not afford to leave that work behind. However, just because of that, you've gone and treated me like a complete stranger? Actually, much worse than a complete stranger. And now you've just gone and done it in front of everyone else in the family. I really don't want to say something like this to you, Patty, but that money you're being given every month is the money I've worked countless hours for.
What was that? So now you're going to try to play the victim here? The only reason I gave you all that salt was because you've been getting a little plump lately. You should be very thankful that I was so thoughtful today, yet for some reason, you don't seem to care at all for my thoughts on your figure.
Well, if that was really the case, then why salt of all things? Wouldn't that only make me fatter in the end? Ugh, I'm done with this, Patty. It seems that no matter what I say, no matter what I do, your way of thinking is not going to change.
Would you stop trying to play things off like I'm the one in the wrong here?
Since you're no longer going to view me as part of your family, I'd like you to stop contacting me from now on. So please leave me alone. If you ever need anything from us or have something to say, bring it up with Brandon.
Oh, running away from us again, I see. Well, that's totally fine with me. As long as you keep that money coming to me, I won't say another word to you. Excuse me, this month's allowance has still not entered my bank account at all, not even $1. Did I forget to mention to you that it is your responsibility to be sending me that money each and every month since you're Adam's wife? If you're not going to keep up with your responsibilities, then I'm going to have you divorced from my son.
Now, this is just what I remember, but I believe that last time I told you that I'd stop sending you money from now on, right? Or did I perhaps forget to say that to you?
I don't ever remember you saying something like that to me. And had you, I would most definitely have said no to that.
Let me ask you something, Patty. Could you please tell me why exactly I have to keep sending you an allowance each month? Because I don't quite remember what the reason was, if there even is one.
You don't remember? My reason is because you're my son's wife. And your primary job as his wife is to shut up and listen to what his mother tells you.
Then can you please explain to me why over time you've been asking for more and more money from me?
What?
At the start you were only asking for around $400 a month from me. But over time you continued to ask for more and more until it came to around $1,500 a month. Do you really need that much money from me?
I told you this already. There are still some payments left over on the loan we took out when we had part of the house reformed. And with my husband's income only, there were parts of our life that we felt a little uncomfortable because we were so close to not having enough money.
I heard that reason from you before, but are you really only using this money I'm giving you on paying off that loan?
What are you trying to say?
Well, it's just, ever since I started to send you money each month, you've become more and more outgoing and overbearing. Also, you've been trying so hard to not let your husband know anything about the money I'm sending to you. You must have another reason for why you need this money from me, and one that would upset your husband very much if he were to find out, right?
There's no reason like that. But you never say anything about this to him. You still understand that, right?
Well, that's too bad because I've already brought it up with him.
What did you just say? I have told you again and again not to say anything about this to him. You really are completely useless to me.
Well, let me just say, it wasn't me that went to him about all of this. He realized that something was up and came to me asking some questions about it all. He said that he noticed how much more flashy your choice of clothing had become and wanted to know from me if there was anything going on with you. He then said to me that if there is anything going on between you and my family regarding money, to let him know about it.
So then you told him about that allowance?
I did. It's the truth after all. And then, after telling him about that money I've been giving you, he started to tell me some things that I had no idea about. There has never been a point this whole time your husband has been paying off that loan where you've handed him any money to help pay it off. So let me ask you one last time. Where is that money I give you every month going? You lied to me about that helping pay off the loan, all so that you could milk all that money off me, right?
Recently, I've been wondering why he's been so cold around me. So this has all been because of you, huh?
Don't start blaming me for your issues, Patty. Anyhow, I'm not going to be sending you any more money for the time being, as I do not support you going out and wasting it on things that are not related to your husband in the house.
So you have no idea what could happen to you by turning your back on me and not listening to what I've said. I'm going to make sure you and Adam are no more. No matter what it is, this is all your fault. I've now gone and lost my son, who once loved me more than anyone else. And now a lot of people in my family are no longer talking to me and will only roll their eyes when I try and talk to them. Had you just stayed in line, never complaining about anything I was doing and listened to me, none of this would be happening. How dare you cause my life to fall into ruins?
Patty, you're still whining about how all of this is my fault? So none of what Adam was telling you about actually made it into that thick head of yours?
Huh? I don't want to hear any of that from you now, especially since you're the bitch who went and took everything from me.
Honestly, Patty, shut the hell up. I am utterly tired of listening to you go on and on about how this is all my fault and that you could never be responsible for making everyone want to hate you. Do you still think that I know nothing about the kind of indecent witch you are deep down? I know about all the things you did to your son as he was growing up, and I have to say it really pisses me off thinking that I still have to talk with you.
What? Tell me what was so bad about the things I did that you'd be pissed off with me. All I did was act like a good mother and raise my boy into the man he is now. I will not let anyone complain about the things I did for him.
Well, that's too bad, because I'm going to complain. I'll have you know that I frickin' hate people like you. People that think they can just use other people and abuse other people and steal from them when they gain something you want. You must have no idea what it means to have some frickin' dignity, do you, Patty? My mom was the same way, as a matter of fact. One massive bully that I never wanted anything to do with but was forced to live under for years. Whenever I did something amazing, she'd always say it was because of her. She would always tell me to listen to what she says, no matter how ignorant and wrong it was. And when I messed up, she would tell me I was no good and that I was embarrassing not only her, but everyone in the family. You and my mom both seem to mistake your child's love for your own, and that's so upsetting to me.
I completely understand what your mother is talking about and feeling.
I'm sure you frickin' do. Both of you share that same single brain cell. I'm sure neither of you have ever thought about your own kids, have you? And that's why your own kids have had to fight for their life to fix their ways of thinking. It took me years to get over the fact that I was more than my mom's puppet and that my wants and needs mattered too.
The only reason you ended up having issues like that in the first place is because you're not good enough for this world. Maybe you needed to grow a pair and actually live up to your mom's expectations.
Well, I'm sure you could say something like that, but that's totally fine. Here's how things are going to end here. Patty, you're going to be kicked out of your husband's house, so please begin preparing yourself for the big move out of there.
Huh? What do you mean I'm being kicked out of his house?
Your husband is planning to divorce you now, Patty. And as everyone seems to recall, it's your husband that owns that house, right? So that means after the divorce, you will no longer be allowed to live there anymore.
Wait, why do I have to be the one getting divorced here, and why do I have to be the one getting kicked out of this house?
You don't know why? Interesting. Because from what I'm aware of, you have been using all the money I've sent you to lavish yourself. You've also used some of it to get yourself a younger boyfriend, right? You also ended up borrowing some money from a loan shark because I wasn't giving you all you needed to afford that lifestyle.
I was planning to pay it all back. So you can't call that money borrowed. I'm not in any debt.
Oh, so there's no excuse for you paying another man to take you out?
That's because to me, I'm not actually paying him to go out with me. He and I are in love now.
Honestly, I can't tell if that's a joke or not, but that's not my problem. How about you go and tell your husband about that now and see what he thinks of it? I'm sure he'd love to find out that you're in love with a younger man you've been paying to take you out now. Anyway, your husband has also noticed some of your shared money being used up, so he's made sure to count that all up as well. And he's going to make sure you pay him back that amount.
No way. Arya, can you please do something to set my husband straight? I'm sure if you go to him saying that what I've done wasn't all that bad, that he'll listen to you and stop trying to get this divorce.
Oh, have you forgotten already? I'm not your family. You said it yourself that I'm nothing more than a complete stranger to you. So I'm sorry to say this to you, but I am not that kind of a stranger. I know some are willing to do a lot for others that they don't know, but I don't have that kind of heart in me.
No. What should I do here then?
Well, I think the first thing you should start to do is find yourself a new place to move to. How does that sound?
Can you at least get my son to think about cutting ties with me? My husband is going to throw me away and my own son wants to cut ties to me.
Brandon is the one who decided that he doesn't want you as his mom anymore, so I have no right trying to say anything to him about that choice. Now, it's getting to be that time where I need to head back into work. Don't talk to me ever again, Patty.
Please, just listen to what I'm saying to you. Do something about this, please.
After Patty divorced her husband, her life took a downward turn. She lost her home as her husband forced her out of the house. Left with no place to go, Patty clung to the hope that someone in the neighborhood might take her in, convinced of her charm and believing herself to be an exceptional woman. She began knocking on doors, asking her neighbors for shelter. However, her past arrogance worked against her. Patty has always been the type to flaunt her son's accomplishments, treating him like a trophy to showcase at every opportunity. This behavior has earned her the disdain of nearly everyone in the neighborhood. On top of that, rumors about her personal life circulated among the residents. Many knew about the man that she had been paying to date her and the romantic feelings she harbored for him. These revelations only deepened the animosity towards her. Consequently, no one wanted to offer her any help or even engage in a conversation about her plight. Faced with rejection from everyone, Patty realized she couldn't stay in the area and decided to leave. Desperate, she turned to her family and returned to her parents' home, a place she hadn't visited in nearly a decade. Her arrival, however, was met with suspicion. Her relatives were wary of her sudden reappearance and questioned the reason behind her divorce. Due to their curiosity, no one confronted her directly or sought an explanation. Instead, they kept their distance and regulated her to living in the basement, isolated and humiliated. Patty withdrew from the world. She stopped seeing the young man she had once claimed to love and chose to shut herself in, rarely venturing outside. Meanwhile, my own life with Adam has improved significantly. With less stress, I've been able to refocus my energy on work, which is already paying off. I'm on track for a promotion, and Adam is also striving for a similar advancement in his career. We've both been busy with our jobs and haven't spent much time at home lately. However, we have a shared goal. Once we're both in stable, higher positions within our companies, we plan to slow down and focus on starting a family of our own. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.